I gave you a copy of some sight reading material, and we're going to start sort of preparing to go into the sight reading room for state choir, and I want to start sort of taking you through the process of what that looks like. So what I'm going to do today is just sort of talk you through what I would be thinking if I were standing in your shoes in the sight reading room, sort of the process, what I would be noticing first, what I would be noticing second. Because when we go in there, we together will have 3 minutes initially to take a look at all of this and sort of practice it for 3 minutes. Then we'll do our first sing through, and then we'll go back and touch up on some things for 1 minute and then perform it. So where I want to get you is so that you can kind of look at it and not be waiting and relying on me to give you all the information, that you can sort of start looking at it and figuring things out on your own so that we can get through it more quickly. And hey, even, I would love it. And ideally, you guys wouldn't even need me at all. Like, you would be able to just get up there, take a look at this, and know exactly what you were looking at. So I'm just going to tell you a few things generally, like that apply to the whole group, and then I'm going to go through each section quickly, just sort of give you my thoughts. And we're going to do this a couple times, and then eventually I'm going to put you in like small group, like a sopranos will group up, twos will group up, altos will group up, and I'll assign each of you a job to do. So like maybe Emily, I would say your responsibility in the soprano section is to know the key signature and to let everybody else know what the key signature is. And I might say, this, Emily, your job is to fill everybody in on the time signature. And then Danny, your job is to clap out the first 5 measures of the rhythm for everybody. And your job is to tell everybody what their starting solfege syllable is. And your job is to tell everybody what their last solfege syllable is. So we'll do that eventually, where you'll all have a job to do. And you'll just sort of share that information out. And then we'd like to get you to where you can all figure all of these things out on your own. Okay? So, but today I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. So, I'm in the sight reading room. The judge hands me this piece of music. I look at it. The very first thing that I'm going to notice is the key signature. Okay? So, I look at it. I see one flat in the key signature, which tells me that we're in the key of F. That's the first thing I'm going to look at. If I'm an alto, knowing that we're in the key of F, actually everybody, I'm gonna identify my starting solfege syllable first. So sopranos, your starting solfege syllable is so. If I were two, I would say mi, altos, do. So getting that first solfege syllable is key, but in order to do that, you've got to know your key signature. Okay. So I'm a soprano 1. Okay, so I'm going to look at soprano 1. I'm going to also notice this actually goes for everybody. I have a pickup note. It's an incomplete measure. So I'm going to notice that too, that I've got 2 beats, and then I'm in on beat 3. So it's going to, I'm thinking in my head, 1, 2, so. All right, so I notice a pickup note, sopranos. So then what I do next is I'm just going to kind of follow the melody line a little bit, looking at first the pitches, and then I'm going to look at the rhythm. So I'm noticing a so to mi jump, up to fa, down to re, down to do, back up to re, and then I'm going to sit on re. So I'm sort of noticing the melody line, and I'm also noticing the rhythm at the same time. Okay, rhythm. I'm noticing half note, quarter, half note, quarter, half note, quarter, measure 4. I see I've got a long note. I've got 1 note in the measure. I know that it's long. Okay, measure 5. We're going to pick up with quarter notes. Those jump out at me. And actually this goes for everybody. I sort of all have the same rhythm. So I think kind of identifying the rhythm is something that I look at first. Seeing 3 beats in a measure, 1 half note, 1 quarter note repeated. So I know I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then as I was just telling the soprano once, when I get to measure 4, I notice right away that I have 1 note in the measure. So I know that I'm going to hit that note and I'm going to hold it's going to be a little bit longer. But then at 5, we pick up with 3 notes in the measure, which happen to be quarter notes. So I'm going to move a little bit quickly there, a little bit more quickly, sorry there. Okay, if I just take a quick glance, I see, starting at measure 10, half notes. Okay, so I think 1, and time signature change, I'm sorry, at measure 9. Notice if you've got a time signature change. At 9, I see that, and then I also see, as I was saying, at 10 and 11, half notes. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So I rave no more I see one note in the measure, so I know that that's going to be a long one. It's 4 beats, okay? I will notice at 13, we're back to some quarter notes. Altos at 15, right away what jumps out at me is that you have moving notes while everybody else is holding a dotted quarter note, or sorry, dotted half note, followed by a quarter note, and then everybody ends on with a fermata, a long note. Something else I'm going to notice is where I start and where I finish. So sopranos, I notice that my starting note, my ending note are not the same. I'm starting on so, but I'm finishing on do. Okay? Knowing that, identifying that when you look at it is going to help you when you get to, obviously, the very end of the song, knowing where you need to finish ahead of time, okay, will sort of be valuable to you. Soprano 2s, I'm also not finishing at the same place I start. I started on mi, but I'm going to finish on so, underneath do. So taking a look at the last note before you get there, I think is helpful. And altos, you're finishing on mi. Okay, nice and low. Okay, so those are just a couple things that I would be looking at. Altos, again, specifically what I might notice about your part, you've got a couple accidentals. Okay, so at the end of the first line, and in measure 11, I would notice the accidentals. So I would be thinking in my head, okay, on the word tide, do you see what I'm looking at? On the word tide, I'm going to go from a B flat to a B natural. So I know I've got to go up just a little bit. Same thing at measure 11. You're going from D to C sharp. I've got to go down just a little bit. Notice those accidentals before you get there. Okay, so these are all things that you want to study and take a look at in the first 4 measures, and things that you want to sort of be thinking about and be aware of before you actually get there. Okay, so those are the things that I would be noticing.